Well, we have Trail of Data on the show. How are you guys? How are you feeling?
Refreshed after a swim. We had a little swim in the freezing cold waters.
So I've heard.
Does that come down from the mountains? Does that come down from the snow-capped mountains?
So it's,
that would explain it.
Yeah. Exactly. There are some. There's like the amount of snow capping is like 5%. I would say.
Right. Of course.
It exists. It's not non-existent.
Yeah.
But still, I haven't tried the freezing waters. Would you recommend them though?
Oh yeah. Get in there. Definitely.
What do you guys remember of the Portugal shows? I was telling Jason beforehand that I specifically attended Festival Sudoeste back in 2007 just to see you guys. I went there just for you. So I'm a long-time fan. And
you say in Stuttgart?
No, in Festival Sudoeste, which is
in Lisbon.
It's Lisbon outskirts, kind of. It's for Portugal purposes, it's kind of far. It's Alentejo. It's another region, but in terms of, I don't know, in the US, it's kind of close. I would say maybe.
That was the one that we did when we passed over in Lisbon. We drove over the bridge.
Yes.
The Vasco da Gama bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun. I was telling Jason, like, I only know cool people that attended. Like,
really?
We still speak to. I was at that show, and people were like, "Oh, I was at that show as well." Only the coolest people, really, the nicest, really, our friends.
Still friends with them.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely,
that's great.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Have been playing whole albums this tour, right?
Yeah.
So you're playing tonight.
Source tags and
Source
codes.
tags.
We've been doing Madonna as well.
Yeah. I was wondering how do you pick and choose between the two?
How do you do
not pick and choose, just choose the whole thing.
Just look down, and sometimes it says that we are going to play a certain album, and if it doesn't say anything, then we play the other album.
So it's predefined then.
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but they're both fun, and also we're working on a new album now, so it's kind of fun to revisit and see what works as an entire body of work live, because it kind of informs what we're doing back home recording.
I was going to ask because 9 was really good. Like I think, maybe my favorite album as a whole.
Wow! Really?
Yeah. Maybe my favorite album.
That. It's always nice to hear somebody that likes the last album we did. You know.
I think
Everybody's got their favorites, but you know.
I haven't listened to. No, just kidding. No. I'm joking. No, I do remember the recording process was a lot different, but I do actually listen to that record and look back and say that it was an interesting work to make, and it's kind of every record is different in terms of composition and the environment that we recorded in. So looking forward to the next
album
one.
that when we got to the recording studio, we had nothing prior written. So it was all written during the process.
Okay.
Whereas usually we'll come to an album recording session with songs that we've been, working on. So that was like we were just gonna write it right then.
And also we went back to a studio that we love, and it's in outside of El Paso. It's called Sonic Ranch Records, recording studio, and it's just it's kind of a great place for us to go out there to escape.
You did some stuff in Brooklyn as well, didn't you?
Not this time around.
Not this time.
No, that was
I remember
Hour of the Dead.
Yeah.
I remember watching an interview with you, Conrad, saying that you had no access to sunlight or something.
We would come out at 7 in the morning, and we didn't know we were in a basement. Yeah.
Not in Brooklyn.
That wasn't in Brooklyn for Century of Self. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the one before 9 we recorded in Hanover, Germany.
Okay.
Yeah.
We tend to try to pick like obscure places to go.
You kind of immerse yourself in the recording process when you're isolated, and there's this one is being done primarily, I guess, exclusively in Austin at this point,
which we haven't done in a while. So
Yeah.
this will be the first time we've like done all Austin recording.
Is it easy to isolate yourselves in Austin? Probably not, right?
No.
Not at all.
Quite the opposite.
Quite the
Yeah.
opposite. So how does that inform? Like, for instance, for Nine, for instance, it's surprising that you say that we had nothing before hitting the studio because it's so tight, really. I find it so cohesive, really. So that sometimes those things you kind of have an idea of songs, at least melodies and stuff.
We would spend like days just jamming on music and writing, and it wasn't like
Typically 9 days. we spent 9 days.
we weren't like
improvising.
really, we weren't, which was cool. It was kind of freeing, in a sense. But it definitely, you feel a little bit of pressure once, like after a week of that, you're like, oh, maybe we should, we should get somewhere with this.
This time we're doing a lot more. We've been building our own recording area, so I'm doing a lot more in the house where I'm just actually like creating layers and stuff at home without having to be booking studio time. As a result, though, this is taking a lot longer. This might actually be one of the longest we've spent on a single record.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a name for the thing, or?
Yeah. 10 for now.
10 for now. You have to record it in 10 days, otherwise. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not going to be in
months so far, I think.
Yeah. We're going on 10 months.
Yeah.
Hopefully not 10 years.
Yeah.
It's not Chinese democracy all over again.
It's
not Chinese democracy.
Let's hope not. Oh my God.
Let's hope not. Yeah. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Years we'll all be 60.
Oh.
No.
Still no excuse not to rock, right? No excuse not to rock.
I won't.
No excuse.
No excuse.
I'll still
If
be in my
it's too
40s.
loud, you're too old.
Your 30s back then.
Chilozowski is still going to be around in 10 years for sure. I mean, he'll be 60 and touring the world. There's a wasp. Hi, wasp.
Is it a wasp or a bee?
Yes, it's a wasp. It's a killing machine. So
It's a bee.
I think it's a wasp. I'm trying not to get stung.
No, it's a bee.
I'm kind of like a phobia of.
No, you do.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. Yeah. So, geez.
Bees are our friends.
Bees are our friends. Wasps are
You ever go listen to that album, Bees Thousand?
are fucking killing machines that deserve to die. It's the only animal that deserves to die.
B1000 was an amazing Guided by Voices record. Robert Pollard was surrounded by 1,000 bees
The whole time.
the whole time, and eventually he befriended them, and then he was able to control them.
With his mind, right?
They were playing the instruments. It was him
Like
and
Ant-Man.
It was like
Except Bee-Man.
that record was him and 1,000 bees.
literally.
It
So
sounds like that.
Now you know the rest of the story.
and the band Wasp as well. The band Wasp was
course
played
Wasp.
was one wasp.
Yeah. One big old wasp.
Yes.
Wasp should tour with Ant-Man.
Yes.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yes, and rat.
And rat.
But rats are fine, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jimmy's Chicken Shack while we're at it.
I have no idea what that is, dude.
We're going through surreal moments here.
Yes, it's supposed
Because of that fucking goddamn wasp.
it's the wasp's fault. So it's my fault. It's my fault,
I know.
really. I like things to derail as quickly as possible.
Okay,
really,
fair.
honestly. keep things fresh after 25 years. I think I'm not mistaken. How, like, do you, cool, like, so for instance, Conrad moved to Cambodia. Are you still in Cambodia right now in this particular moment?
I moved back to Austin.
No, not in Cambodia now. No. Now, I mean now, like, looking at that.
Yeah, I moved back to Austin now. We're all together. You know, well, he's in LA, and yeah.
I'm often in Austin, though.
So bands, for instance, when bands exist for a long time, often they only have the rock and roll life to refer to. So you guys still have like room for personal life. I never asked this. You're the first band ever that I've asked a similar question. I think.
I have no personal life. I have nothing going on in my life.
You're virtually a touring amp.
Yeah, that's all I am.
And guitar rig.
Yep.
Just pure personality.
Pure personality. Yeah. Exactly. You're just the rock and roll life.
Our personal life. In fact, that kind of informs our music now, is because we, you know, the band is you know, also within our lives as people. As you know, some have children. We have other musical projects. We have other like creative projects. Like everyone is involved in other things, and I think that kind of informs to a positive degree our music when we get together.
I was only asking. I try not to ask the same things everyone else asks, but the show exists for being different as well. But I was only asking because Nine seemed to have such personal lyrical content that, you know, and meaning that having such a long existence as a band, I mean, going that route, I mean, back to very personal experience. So that's why I was asking. So there you go.
There was a lot of personal stuff going on, but at least with me at the time. So I was writing a lot about separation from my son's mother and things like that. But it was also a lot about the landscape that I was living in with Phnom Penh, and but that's kind of like how all our records are. They tend to just address our lives at the time, and you know,
except for Jason, who has no life.
Yeah.
Right.
So, no addressing anything.
No, I'm just complete monolithic blank slate. No, I feel like, yeah, with our band, we've always like used whatever we're going through at the time as a way to write and, you know, and sort of get it out, you know, definitely strike from the personal, you know, and bring it in somehow into the music.
Sure.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's about what we're influenced by at the time, you know, whether it's books or movies, but, you know.
Wordplay time now. Is Doomsday Book a good read?
Is it what?
Is it a good read? The Doomsday Book?
No.
Not at all.
Do you know what it is?
Is it the Necronomicon?
No, the Doomsday Book is really just it's a census that was taken in England when the Normans took over.
I had no idea.
Yeah, 1066.
Oh.
And the reason I referred to it was because the town that I grew up in England was in the Doomsday Book. So it's basically just a census that the Normans took when they wanted to they wanted to write down everything that they'd conquered. It's not a good read.
Not a good read at all.
It's not even.
I was trying to be playful, not in good taste, guys. I apologize. I wasn't aware. At all.
Now you know.
Now everyone else knows.
It's a historical.
Yeah, I don't even think that the word doom, it really translates well as far as like, it sounds a lot more interesting than it actually is. Doomsday Book.
Yeah, I get it. What about, for instance, jaded apostles? Have they become jaded, or did they become jaded because of too much apostling? I would guess. They apostle too much.
I think that was about. Well, I was kind of thinking about the denial of Peter's denial at the time, and I'm not even sure where those lyrics were coming from. You know, sometimes they just kind of come subconsciously. But at the time, I was using this lyrical method where I would like mumble something, and then I would write down what it sounded like I was saying. So a lot of those lyrics, especially with that song, were kind of just like what it sounded like I was saying when I was like making a demo.
We've got the apostles, you've got Judas who betrayed, you've got Peter who denied, you have Thomas who doubted, and you have Jesus who died.
So
Think about it.
Not a good outlook. I guess not a good output then of what happened.
Bible is the doomsday.
Yes, exactly. It is.
There you go.
It is. It is.
go.
But still with a hopeful message, maybe. Not the latter part, maybe. not as much. Like, don't with all the credit card references because it kind of previews the credit card, the Bible. Let's not talk about the Bible. But still,
about credit cards.
Credit cards. Still, yeah, exactly. Much worse. Bit of wordplay. 1 million random digits. Does that mean that you could eventually really just break into everywhere?
Well, that was okay. So, a couple of the titles on the album were.
I try to keep it creative, not to tire out you guys.
So there's a prize that they give every year for books that have the weirdest titles.
Really?
Yeah, and so a couple of the titles I picked for songs on the album came from books that had won. And Million Random Digits was the first part of a title for a book. And the book was actually a book of 1 million random digits. So I don't know what mathematical application it had, but there was 1 million random digits that you could pick from.
Wow.
And then the other one was like large ships and how to avoid them. That was the title of a book, and it was that's a book about large ships and how to avoid them. Written for people that have small ships.
So you don't even have to have your own solution for the problem because there's a book about it.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
One of the ones that I didn't use was a book called Cooking with Poo, which was written by a Thai chef named Poo. And in Thailand, Poo is actually quite a common name.
Poo. Oh.
Cooking with Poo is
Okay.
she's a Thai chef, famous Thai chef.
I wish I could remember anything in Portuguese that was poo related in terms of translations. I don't. So there you go.
Well, this festival is the shit.
Oh yeah!
Oh, good. Yes.
How's that?
Excellent. Excellent.
Be on me.
To wine, to having fun.
Yeah. I'm about to have some.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, I will as well.
Have some Portuguese
yes.
wine.
Some Portuguese wine. Yes. Are you fans of Portuguese wine?
Yes. Vino Verde.
Love it.
We were just with people that were having
Sausage.
Portuguese sausage as well. Yes, and chorizo and stuff
Amazing.
like that.
One of the best sausages. Yeah.
Did you guys?
Lisbon after this to decompress and to.
Do you have any suggestions?
We are from Lisbon and we're going back to Lisbon as well.
So you gotta let us know
Yeah.
any suggestions you have. We're really gonna directly inform the next record.
I'll need to think about it and I'll message you or something. Is that possible?
Well, yeah, please do. We're gonna be staying near the water, near the big market, and also near the old
Absolutely. I know where it is.
antique museum.
Museu Nacional de Arte Antiga, yes, for sure. Antique.
That one.
Old
area.
old art.
The old art.
Old art museum.
art.
Ancient art. Old art.
That one looks
old.
cool.
You don't want to. No,
It's old.
It's
so
awesome.
They're just
It's awesome.
giving it away for cheap. You can buy them really cheap.
This is buy the art.
Old secondhand art.
15th century art you can just buy because they're giving it away, or just giving it away. Yeah, for sure. Buy for cheap. But still. new gear for the next album or something, for instance, that you're playing with?
Yeah, I bought a Mini Brute 2S synthesizer, the Arturia. We got the Matrix Brute. We got drum.
Just in the presence of one last week, actually.
Yeah, they're beautiful, are they not? So we got a lot of new synth gear. That's like the main thing. We just got our double neck SG fixed up, so that should be ready to go soon.
Wow.
We're playing a lot of Jaguars and Jazz Masters. Is this boring?
No.
Okay.
I'm a musician as well, so I'm really, and there's plenty of people.
About that.
Everyone. Lots of
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who cares about journalistic questions? This is, tech talk is fun.
We can talk tech a lot.
Yeah,
Tech a lot of tech.
sure.
Yeah. Using a lot of iPad, iOS apps for that are being developed right now.
Tech Talk with Trail of Dead.
Yeah.
It's a segment. It's happening. It's
Cool.
happening.
Yeah.
But
I like drumsticks that are like.
general.
Jason got a new drumstick.
I got a drumstick.
Jason loves that new stool. He
It goes
shows
really
that.
high. It's
Yeah.
7-foot stool.
He loves the stool.
My 7-foot stool.
Push his stool in for him
Yeah,
if you want.
and then
Is that a hobby, finding stools?
I'm super.
He's a stool hunter.
Find stool.
This fall on AMC, Stool Hunter with your host, Jason Reese.
And followed by cooking with poo, I would say.
stool sampler.
Stool sampler,
You
exactly.
should get some stool samples.
Stool Hunters.
Not that sort of
Stool Hunters with a
stools.
Z, if you're going to look it up on Instagram.
Oh yeah, stool skills.
Hanging with the
Stoolie.
lean boys.
He's just your average
boys.
stoolie.
Lean out boys.
Lean Out
Hanging out with the lean out boys.
Shout out to the Lean Out Boys.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a band that broke up the same day they started in Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's
an obscure
a story of success then.
But yeah.
Oh, Lucy, hi. We just had her on the show earlier.
Oh, cool.
She's great. And
Nice.
Hey, what happened with Pussy Riot? Are they playing?
they are playing at 2 a.m.
Okay, good.
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Yeah,
okay.
a friend of mine just interviewed Nadia. She says she's the best. So
Why'd they?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're playing a late one.
They're playing a late one.
Fans.
That stage over there.
Yeah.
The same stage as you guys. So you guys
Okay.
probably are bumping into each other. It's the show after yours.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Looking
Stay
forward
late
to
for
it.
that.
We're fans and supporters.
Good.
We've covered Pussy Riot before.
Really?
It's the Coat Hangers.
Oh,
Do you
wow.
know that band?
No.
They're a great band from Atlanta, Georgia that we tour with on occasion.
I didn't know. Oh, fantastic. Great. Good. Then there's some cosmic consonance.
There's an alignment going on right now.
Maybe everyone's going to take a dip in the river or something.
We already did.
Oh, no, I mean everyone together.
Everybody. The whole festival.
Yes.
Not at 2 a.m. No fucking way.
Exactly. Not, and at least voluntarily, not at 2 a.m.
Right. Yeah.
If it happens, it happens.
Falling in that river.
Yeah, you'll freeze to death. Don't, please. Yeah, we want you guys to survive, please.
Very kind of you.
Oh, thank you so much. That I want you guys to survive. I want everything to survive except wasps.
Yeah,
wasps
of
are.
course.
That wasp was okay.
That wasp is fine though.
They
Yes,
broke up.
that's true.
Or centipedes.
The wasps
centipedes.
broke
I
up.
don't like centipedes.
Centipedes?
No.
We don't really get them over here. It's
Yeah.
kinda
Yeah, we
little-
do.
yeah, but it's not in Lisbon really.
But I do.
Yes, not in Lisbon though.
Okay.
We have centipedes in Portugal.
Just like put them somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Yes,
Not in my
I'm like that with spiders. Like spiders, like everyone freaks out. Like the spiders are like, no, it's spiders are the spiders are buddies. Yes,
I hate
spiders are
dogs
buddies.
and cats and horses.
Really?
Yeah, I hate mammals. Just,
In general.
I find mammals disgusting.
Revolting.
Yeah. We should just kill them all.
Not eat them though, just kill them.
I love my animal brothers.
Yes, a full animal support over here. to like be in front of Jason too much.
Don't worry, we have the other camera.
But we got you covered. Okay, one last thing because we have another one. Sure. Okay, the show's called Made of Things, and it's based on the idea that you guys have dedicated yourselves to art because something happened to you, or you heard something, or watched something, or had some sort of experience that made you go like, oh, I want to do that forever and play rock and roll forever. Did you guys have that? And if so, what was it?
I guess real quick. I don't know. I guess when I first got like a Maxell cassette from a friend of mine in like 6th grade, and there was Black Flag on it, and some Minor Threat and Sex Pistols, and that was the start of me going, oh, I think I found like my my calling. That's where I was like, okay, I think I like music, and
I want to collect cassettes.
Yeah, I'm gonna collect cassettes now. No.
Chrome 2 cassettes. Yeah. Back, it still exists. I saw one the other day.
Yeah, so that was my quick one.
I was 4 years old. The first song I ever got into was "Band on the Run" by Paul McCartney and the Wings, and my image that it created in my head was that when you're a band, you're just like a criminal. You're on the run. The cops are chasing you. I was like, this is cool. So I always glamorized that lifestyle.
When I was 2 years old, my mom was taking me door to door. She was a evangelizer, a Jehovah's Witness, so she would go and talk about the Bible to people. And one day, at the end of her doorstop sermon, the householder, the gentleman, asked what kind of music I listened to, and apparently I said rock and roll. Jumped out of my stroller and started singing "Born in the USA."
Ooh.
So I guess while I have no recollection of it, that's kind of like set the precedent for the rest of my.
So you kind of fell in the cauldron way too early.
My mom gave me a 45 of the Batman theme when I was about 6 years old, and it changed my life.
That's Henry Mancini, isn't it? No, that's Pink Panther.
I don't remember who. Billy Strange, maybe.
Okay, maybe. Okay. Conrad, I think just to end this, I thought was there some prog rock in the formative thing? Like, for instance, I've seen you mention "Close to the Edge" by Yes. I'm a huge prog guy and indie rock guy as well. But like Yes, and you mentioned Relayer, which is an album that people don't necessarily mention a lot. I think that's a brilliant record. And
the Yes album on the plane.
Really?
Yesterday a morning came. Yeah. Oh, they're great. Our
no disgrace then. Yes.
Yeah.
The Yes album is fantastic.
The head of our German label is friends with John Anderson.
I've interviewed him. He's been on the show.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
I've emailed him quite a bit. Not quite a bit, like a couple of times.
Really cool guy.
He is very chill.
That seems. I'd love to meet him. Cool.
And he was on the show like 10 years ago or something.
Nice.
And Jason, how about you in terms of the prog influence that influence? Again, this maybe the first interview ever that I've said the word influence, but still.
I think
off on
in
terms of prog.
obviously, Rush, but I think for me, like krautrock was kind of more of where, as far as like experimental music went, that's kind of like been more of my jam, like getting into Nônô or Faust or like Can and stuff like. But that's definitely like also like kind of related to prog in a sense.
Yeah, it is.
So.
And the cantory scene, which is like, which is even like the British version of krautrock.
But I mean, we're definitely a fan of Yes, and I don't know.
I love Yes. It's funny because you guys, the concept
Rush,
is really cool.
You're not into Rush.
No, I never really got into it. Just it's way too major chordy for me, I guess. I don't know. I still have to really dig into it. Really.
Yeah.
So, but my prog is like Yes and King Crimson.
I mean, Genesis.
The first
also,
6 albums. That's all you need to check out.
Of Rush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go past like whatever Moving Pictures or Criminal Waves.
I mean,
I think I got into XYZ. XYZ is is in the first 6.
Yeah, YYZ.
That's YYZ. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, YYZ.
It's still, I don't know anything about Russian.
But I think like
Moving pictures.
also we failed to mention Genesis.
Genesis, I love
Gabriel.
dude. Exactly, because
Yeah.
especially with the Peter Gabriel thing,
Yeah.
you have not was that like like
symbols?
no self control?
Oh, yeah, that
which is a
Yeah,
fucking awesome song.
I was listening to that album like a lot, like a few months ago, and just really Intruder and all those songs. Yeah, and the fact that they would use no symbols, that's so cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys made it work as well. Really, really well on the album. So there you go. There's a little tied knot in the end of the interview. There's you go. There's you go.
There's you go.
There's you.
There you go.
There's you go. And we're
Eggs out of the chicken coop.
exactly. And we're done. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I
you.
would just ask to
Just get a portrait.
Yeah.
See you.